The year is 2023. Oak Haven, a city shimmering with glass towers and shadowed by forgotten alleys, holds a history etched in every brick. It's a place where fortunes are made and dreams are often deferred, especially for those whose stories aren't whispered in the gilded halls of power. Elijah Vance knew this intimately. He was the architect of Unity National Bank, a financial institution daring to rewrite the narrative, one loan, one mortgage, one handshake at a time. Elijah, a titan of the financial world to some, remained grounded by the tales whispered by his grandmother. She spoke of a time when the color of your skin determined your access to the American dream, when red lines carved invisible barriers across neighborhoods. Her stories weren't just history, they were a living testament, fueling his determination to create a bank where opportunity wasn't a privilege but a right. He carries the weight of their legacy not as a burden but as a constant compass. The polished mahogany of his penthouse office felt miles away from the cramped apartment where he first envisioned Unity. The bank was his legacy, his way of ensuring that no one else would be denied a chance because of prejudice. He observed the city lights, each a beacon of aspiration, each a reflection of the diverse tapestry of Oak Haven. Was Unity genuinely living up to its promise, or were subtle biases, like insidious weeds, taking root within its walls? A disquieting tale reached Elijah's ears. Mrs. May Johnson, a woman denied a small business loan from Unity's branch located in a more affluent, predominantly white neighborhood. The story was like a discordant note in the symphony of progress he was trying to compose. Something felt amiss, a nagging suspicion that the institution he built might be subtly betraying its mission. Elijah felt the sting of this report as a personal affront. Unity's mission was not just a corporate slogan, but a moral imperative. He decided to engage in a daring experiment, to go undercover, to step out of the CEO's suite and into the shoes of an ordinary citizen. The goal wasn't to expose individuals but to uncover systemic issues, the unconscious biases that might be clouding the bank's vision. Under the guise of Mr. Edward Smith, he aimed to withdraw a significant amount of cash, enough to raise a few eyebrows, enough to test the system. It was a gamble, a descent into the unknown, but Elijah knew it was a necessary journey. The fate of Unity, the future of Oak Haven's marginalized communities, might very well hang in the balance. Oak Haven 2023 is a city of contrasts. Gleaming skyscrapers pierce the sky, monuments to ambition and innovation. Below, brick tenements whisper tales of generations struggling to rise above systemic barriers. It is a city divided not by geography but by opportunity. The air hums with a nervous energy, a constant push and pull between progress and the stubborn realities of the past. This tension permeates every aspect of life, shaping the destinies of its inhabitants. Elijah Vance, the man who built Unity National Bank, embodies this duality. He grew up in the shadow of those skyscrapers, a child witnessing firsthand the disparities that scarred Oak Haven. His mother, a tireless teacher, instilled in him the importance of education and the power of empathy. His father, a small business owner, fought tirelessly against redlining and discriminatory lending practices. These early experiences shaped Elijah's unwavering commitment to creating a financial institution that would empower marginalized communities. His grandmother, Nana May, was the keeper of the family's history, a living archive of stories that spoke of resilience, resistance, and the unyielding pursuit of equality. She would often recount her experiences during the Jim Crow era, sharing stories of segregation, disenfranchisement, and the constant struggle for dignity. These stories served as a constant reminder of the progress that had been made, but also of the long road that still lay ahead. Mr. Edward Smith, Elijah's undercover persona, is a deliberate creation, a mask designed to reveal the hidden truths of Oak Haven. He is a middle-aged, working-class man, dressed in simple clothes, carrying the weight of everyday struggles on his shoulders. He is a composite of the people Elijah grew up with, the people he is determined to serve. He is a blank slate, a vessel for experiencing the city's prejudices firsthand. Across town, in the affluent neighborhood where Unity's branch is located, lives Mr. Harrison, the branch manager. He is a product of privilege, raised in a world where opportunity was readily available, and success was almost guaranteed. He has climbed the corporate ladder through hard work and ambition, but also through a system that has historically favored people who look like him. He is not overtly malicious, but his unconscious biases, shaped by his upbringing and environment, may unknowingly perpetuate the inequalities that Elijah is determined to dismantle. Mrs. May Johnson, the woman whose denied loan sparked Elijah's undercover mission, is a small business owner with a dream. She has poured her heart and soul into her business, a local bakery that serves as a gathering place for her community. She represents the countless entrepreneurs who are denied access to capital because of their race or socioeconomic status. Her story is a microcosm of the systemic challenges that Elijah is fighting to overcome. These are the key players in a drama that is about to unfold, a story that will explore the complex intersection of race, class, and power in Oakhaven. Their individual motivations, shaped by their unique histories and experiences, will collide in a series of events that will challenge their beliefs, test their courage, and ultimately determine the future of Unity National Bank and the community it serves. As Mr. Smith confronts blatant denial, Elijah unearths a hidden log detailing Harrison's discriminatory actions. Shockingly, a past loan rejection to Nana May years ago surfaces, intertwining personal history with present injustice. The ensuing investigation reveals the bank's lawyer deeply entangled, and Elijah must choose between justice and loyalty. Elijah, reeling from the blatant discrimination he faced as Mr. Smith, sets a clear goal: dismantle the systemic biases within Unity. His first obstacle is the bank's ingrained culture, a resistance to change fueled by those benefiting from the status quo. Harrison, now aware of Elijah's undercover stunt, becomes a direct antagonist, subtly sabotaging internal investigations and rallying support from conservative board members. The hidden log, a digital record of Harrison's biased loan decisions, becomes a crucial piece of evidence. However, accessing it proves difficult, as it's protected by layers of security and requires the cooperation of someone within the IT department. This subplot introduces Sarah Chin, a young, idealistic programmer at Unity, who suspects something is amiss and is willing to risk her career to uncover the truth. Meanwhile, Mrs. May Johnson, unaware of Elijah's involvement, continues to struggle to keep her bakery afloat. Her story becomes a symbol of the human cost of systemic bias, motivating Elijah to push harder for change. He discreetly offers her assistance, providing financial advice and connecting her with community resources, all while maintaining his Mr. Smith persona. The bank's lawyer, Mr. Thompson, a longtime friend and confidant of Elijah, becomes increasingly evasive. Elijah discovers that Thompson has been advising Harrison on how to conceal his actions and manipulate the investigation. This revelation shakes Elijah to his core, forcing him to question his trust in those closest to him. Thompson's motivations remain unclear, adding another layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. Is he simply protecting his client, or is there a deeper, more sinister reason for his involvement? As Elijah delves deeper into the investigation, he uncovers a pattern of redlining practices at Unity, targeting predominantly black neighborhoods. He realizes that the problem is far more widespread than he initially thought, extending beyond Harrison's actions to encompass the bank's overall lending policies. This discovery fuels his determination to enact meaningful change, but also increases the stakes, pitting him against powerful forces within the financial industry. His relationship with his wife, Sarah Vance, becomes strained as he dedicates more and more time to the investigation. She worries about his safety, his obsession with the case, and the potential damage to his reputation. She represents the personal cost of his fight for justice, a constant reminder of the sacrifices he is making. She begins to question whether the battle is worth the price. The inciting incident arrives in the form of a leaked internal memo. This document, intended for select board members, outlines a plan to discredit Elijah and undermine his authority by exposing his undercover operation. It details a smear campaign, designed to paint him as a reckless and irresponsible leader, jeopardizing Unity's stability. The memo, anonymously sent to a local news outlet known for its investigative journalism, is about to become public. Sarah Chin, risking everything, is the one who leaks the memo. Haunted by the injustice she has witnessed and spurred by Elijah's genuine commitment to change, she makes the difficult decision to betray her employer and expose the truth. She knows that her actions will have severe consequences, but she believes that the greater good outweighs the personal risk. The leak creates an immediate firestorm. News outlets across the country pick up the story, and Elijah finds himself at the center of a media frenzy. He is bombarded with questions about his undercover operation, his motives, and the allegations of systemic bias at Unity. His reputation is on the line, and the future of the bank hangs in the balance. Harrison, emboldened by the leak, seizes the opportunity to further undermine Elijah. He publicly denies any wrongdoing and accuses Elijah of staging the entire incident to gain publicity. He rallies support from conservative board members, who demand that Elijah resign immediately. The pressure on Elijah intensifies, and he faces the real possibility of losing his job. Mrs. May Johnson, upon learning of Elijah's true identity, is initially shocked and confused. She feels betrayed by his deception, questioning whether his actions were truly motivated by a desire to help her or simply a publicity stunt. However, after reflecting on his genuine kindness and the assistance he provided, she begins to see his actions in a different light. She decides to publicly defend him, sharing her story and highlighting his commitment to empowering marginalized communities. Sarah Vance, witnessing the chaos unfold, confronts Elijah about his obsession with unity and its impact on their family. She expresses her fear that he is sacrificing everything for a cause that may ultimately destroy him. She demands that he prioritize their family and consider stepping down to protect their future. Elijah is now faced with a series of difficult choices. He must decide how to respond to the leaked memo, whether to resign or fight for his position, and how to reconcile his commitment to justice with his responsibilities to his family and the bank. The inciting incident has set in motion a chain of events that will test his character, his leadership, and his unwavering belief in the power of equality. The status quo has been irrevocably altered, and the stage is set for a dramatic showdown. The leaked memo triggers a domino effect, transforming Unity into a battleground. The immediate consequence is a significant drop in the bank's stock value, alarming shareholders and further emboldening Elijah's detractors on the board. Harrison, smelling blood, orchestrates a vote of no confidence, pushing for Elijah's immediate removal. Facing mounting pressure, Elijah must rally support. He turns to Maria Rodriguez, a community activist and longtime advocate for economic justice. Maria, skeptical of corporate promises, initially distrusts Elijah, viewing him as just another wealthy CEO. However, seeing his genuine commitment to change and hearing first-hand accounts from Mrs. Johnson and others he has helped, she decides to throw her weight behind him. Another new character emerges, Senator Thompson, a powerful and influential politician who has deep ties to the banking industry. Senator Thompson, initially neutral, is swayed by Harrison's promises of financial support for his upcoming re-election campaign. He subtly uses his influence to pressure regulatory agencies to investigate Unity, creating further challenges for Elijah. Sarah Chin, now a whistleblower facing professional ostracization, becomes a target for Harrison and his allies. They attempt to discredit her by digging into her past and spreading rumors about her motives. Elijah, feeling responsible for her predicament, vows to protect her, further complicating his already precarious situation. This subplot explores themes of loyalty, sacrifice, and the courage to stand up for what is right. The investigation into Unity's lending practices intensifies, uncovering a complex web of discriminatory policies and practices. Elijah discovers that redlining extended beyond traditional mortgages, impacting small business loans, credit card applications, and even access to basic banking services. The scope of the problem is far greater than he initially imagined, requiring a more comprehensive and systemic solution. Mrs. May Johnson, now a reluctant spokesperson for Unity, uses her platform to advocate for financial literacy and economic empowerment in marginalized communities. Her bakery becomes a symbol of hope and resilience, attracting national attention and inspiring other entrepreneurs to pursue their dreams. She embodies the transformative power of opportunity and the importance of community support. Elijah's relationship with Sarah Vance continues to be tested. She struggles to reconcile her love for him with her fear for his safety and their family's future. She begins to question whether his unwavering commitment to Unity is worth the personal cost. This subplot explores the complexities of balancing personal and professional lives, and the sacrifices that are often required to achieve meaningful change. He starts to see her point of view. These consequences, new challenges, and developing motivations propel the story forward, creating a complex and compelling narrative that explores the intersection of race, power, and justice in the modern financial world. The stakes are higher than ever, and the fate of Unity National Bank and the community it serves hangs in the balance. The vote of no confidence closes in, transforming Unity into a pressure cooker. Harrison, certain he commands the board, escalates his smear tactics, leaking damaging, and often fabricated, stories to the press. The community fragments, some questioning Elijah's judgment, others defending him, creating visible rifts across Oakhaven's social landscape. This division reaches Unity's employees, sparking heated debates and creating a toxic work environment. Elijah grapples with an agonizing choice: expose Senator Thompson's corruption, risking a political conflagration that could destroy Unity, or remain silent, allowing the senator to continue his interference. The former risks everything, the latter betrays his principles. He turns to Maria Rodriguez, whose grassroots organizing prowess proves crucial in combating Harrison's sway within the community. She advises Elijah that honesty, even with potential fallout, is the only sustainable path. Sarah Chin, ostracized and struggling to find work after whistleblowing, faces eviction and rising debts. Her plight becomes interwoven with Elijah's when she discovers critical evidence. A clandestine account Harrison used to funnel funds to Senator Thompson, a clear act of bribery. To access this, she must hack Unity's secure server, putting her in extreme danger both legally and physically. This decision forces her to confront her fear and embrace her new role as an agent of change. Mrs. May Johnson's bakery, a beacon of hope, becomes a target of vandalism and intimidation. Harrison's supporters, fueled by hateful rhetoric, try to silence her, underscoring the deep-seated prejudice in Oakhaven. These attacks are a stark reminder of the personal dangers of challenging the status quo, making Mrs. Johnson question her safety and the well-being of her patrons. It also forces Elijah to face the very ugly realities of what hate, inspired by money and power, can do. The investigation reveals that Mr. Thompson, Elijah's confidant, didn't just advise Harrison. He designed the discriminatory policies. This hits Elijah hard, forcing him to confront the reality that those closest to him were complicit in injustice. He feels betrayed, isolated, and unsure who to trust, as he comes to terms with the fact that racism can even wear the clothes of your closest friend. Intertwined subplots create a complex web, raising the stakes for Elijah and forcing hard decisions. Tensions rise, alliances shift, and secrets emerge as the battle for unity reaches a fever pitch. Its future, its community, and the lives involved hang in the balance. Sarah, overwhelmed and fearful, demands Elijah choose between her and unity, creating a personal crisis alongside the professional one. Cornered by Sarah's ultimatum and the looming vote of no confidence, Elijah reaches a breaking point, making a critical decision. He will expose Senator Thompson's corruption no matter the fallout. He fully understands the risks, financial ruin for unity, personal attacks, but recognizes he can no longer compromise. He shares Sarah Chen's explosive evidence with Maria Rodriguez, carefully entrusting her to release it to the press in a way that minimizes collateral damage for unity itself. This decision marks a true transformation, cementing Elijah's unwavering dedication to justice above all considerations, even his bank. As Maria prepares to unleash the information, Harrison, sensing defeat, takes a drastic, illegal step. He orders a raid on Sarah Chen's apartment, attempting to seize the evidence and silence her for good. This desperate act exposes the true depth of his moral depravity and elevates the conflict to a life-or-death confrontation. Sarah, thanks to a warning from Elijah, narrowly escapes the raid, losing all her belongings in the process. This event serves as a major turning point. The community, seeing Harrison's ruthless tactics, rallies behind Elijah and Sarah, further isolating Harrison and his supporters. Mrs. Johnson, recognizing the racial hate behind this crime, bravely speaks out against the vandals, urging Oakhaven to unite against hatred. She transforms into a beloved local hero, symbolizing the power of courage and community. This galvanizes support for unity and Elijah, positioning them as champions against injustice. Senator Thompson, realizing his political career is doomed, quickly abandons the conspiracy, leaving Harrison isolated and facing the full consequences of his actions. Sarah decides to stay with Elijah. With Senator Thompson abandoning the conspiracy, Harrison becomes increasingly desperate, his power base crumbling. He attempts to bribe board members to maintain their support, but Maria Rodriguez, leveraging her community connections, exposes his efforts, further eroding his influence. This sets the stage for the final showdown at the vote of no confidence, now less a foregone conclusion and more a battle for the soul of unity. Elijah, despite the outpouring of community support, faces a minor confrontation with some long-term unity employees who fear the changes he is implementing. They worry about their job security and express skepticism about his commitment to their well-being. This forces Elijah to address their concerns directly, promising to protect their jobs and invest in their training to adapt to the new, more inclusive unity. Sarah Chin, now homeless but resolute, finds unexpected support from Mrs. Johnson, who offers her a place to stay in the apartment above her bakery. This creates a heartwarming alliance, demonstrating the power of community solidarity in the face of adversity. This minor plot resolution ties up the loose end of Sarah's immediate housing situation while also foreshadowing a deeper, more meaningful connection between her and Mrs. Johnson. Mr. Thompson, facing the consequences of his actions, attempts to make amends by providing Elijah with crucial information about Harrison's illegal activities. This surprising alliance creates uncertainty, as Elijah is hesitant to trust him after his betrayal. However, Mr. Thompson's information proves invaluable in preparing for the vote of no confidence and exposing Harrison's crimes. As the day of the vote approaches, Elijah prepares a compelling presentation, outlining his vision for Unity's future and detailing his plan to address the systemic biases within the bank. He knows that the vote will be close, and that he must convince the board members that he is the right leader to guide Unity through this difficult period. This careful setup foreshadows a dramatic and emotional climax, where Elijah must use all his skills and charisma to win over the board and save Unity. He explains his decision, his reasons, and the undercover investigation. He also shares the numbers for Unity to grow bigger if it embraces diversity and includes all the community and all the businesses. He also acknowledges mistakes, bad practices in the past, and promises to correct all of them with the support of all. He proposes a new system of internal audits with external members of the community to guarantee that every client is treated well and that he is available to hear all complaints by the client. Hours before the vote, a last-minute crisis erupts. Harrison, in a desperate attempt to salvage his crumbling position, releases a heavily doctored video to the media, falsely depicting Elijah making racially insensitive comments. Crafted to destroy Elijah's credibility and influence undecided board members, this manufactured scandal presents Elijah's most difficult challenge yet, forcing him to immediately address the manipulated allegations and defend himself against this deceitful assault on his character. The emotional impact deepens as Sarah, watching the news coverage, begins to question Elijah's innocence. The video's deceptive editing creates genuine doubt, and she struggles to reconcile the man she loves with the hateful persona displayed on screen. This throws their relationship into turmoil, adding immense personal pressure to the already tense situation. Elijah now has to fight not only for his position at Unity but also for the trust and love of Sarah, the most important thing in his life. The thought of losing her is devastating. While Elijah prepares to confront the board, Maria Rodriguez spearheads a massive rally just outside Unity's headquarters, showcasing the overwhelming community support for him. The rally serves as a powerful counter-narrative to Harrison's desperate smear campaign, reminding the board members of Elijah's overwhelmingly positive influence within Oak Haven. Local news is dominated by images of citizens pleading with the board to consider Elijah's good deeds and positive impact before making their decision. Many, inspired by Mrs. Johnson, carry signs expressing their gratitude for Unity's support of local businesses and communities. Former employees who once doubted him now stand in solidarity, deeply regretful of their earlier resistance. Mr. Thompson, also hoping to redeem himself, provides key evidence to expose the video as fraudulent. These events create a perfect storm, aligning all narrative threads as they converge on the vote of no confidence. Elijah's career, Unity's future, Sarah's trust, and the community's hopes all rest on this pivotal moment. He must now confront his detractors, defend his integrity, reveal the truth about the doctored video, and convincingly demonstrate that he is the right person to lead Unity towards a more equitable future. The employees who had previously turned against him, now filled with remorse, deliver an eloquent letter expressing their deep regret and unwavering support for his continued leadership. His Nana May sends her last message to him, and tells him that the truth always appears for good people. The board meeting commences, the air thick with suspense. Elijah enters a room starkly divided, the atmosphere charged with uncertainty and unspoken anxieties. Harrison, projecting an air of contrived confidence, presents his case, rehashing the accusations against Elijah and attempting to portray him as a disruptive and divisive figure at Unity. Elijah steps forward, his composure unwavering, his resolve clear. He presents compelling and irrefutable evidence, supplied by a remorseful Mr. Thompson, proving the video's manipulation and Harrison's orchestration of its release to the media. His speech tackles the deep systemic biases present within Unity, offering a detailed plan to establish a truly inclusive and equitable institution. He doesn't evade responsibility, openly acknowledging his mistakes, and firmly stating his commitment to continued growth and learning. He remembers his Nana who before passing told him, "Remember what you are here for and what you need to do." The critical moment arrives when Sarah, after reviewing the new evidence and speaking with Mr. Thompson, makes her way into the board meeting and publicly announces her unwavering support for Elijah. Her deeply moving testimony, infused with genuine vulnerability and stark honesty, profoundly impacts the remaining undecided board members. She admits her initial doubts, but firmly declares her complete trust in his compassionate heart and noble intentions. She also adds, "I stand with him today and always." The vote is held, the fate of unity hanging in the balance. One by one each board member casts their ballot. The tension reaches an almost unbearable level as the votes are counted. The chairman finally announces the outcome. The vote of no confidence has failed. Elijah Vance will remain the CEO of Unity National Bank at least for now. Harrison, thoroughly defeated and irrevocably exposed for his crimes, is escorted from the premises, his career utterly destroyed. Law enforcement officials are waiting outside to take him into custody. The story's subplots reach their satisfying conclusions. Sarah Chin is offered a high-level position at Unity, as the head of a new system of internal compliance, and she and Elijah affirm their relationship. Armed with the evidence, Mr. Thompson prepares to face the legal repercussions of his previous actions and has accepted his errors. Mrs. May Johnson expands her bakery and becomes a symbol of hope and a beacon of opportunity for others. In time, Elijah and Sarah got married and had a baby. In the wake of Harrison's downfall, Unity National Bank experiences a genuine and transformative rebirth. Elijah, both humbled by his experiences and energized by the victory, institutes comprehensive reforms, positioning diversity and inclusion as core values at every level of the organization. A community advisory board is formed, guaranteeing that the perspectives of marginalized communities are not only heard, but actively incorporated into all crucial decision-making processes. Redlining practices are completely eliminated, and Unity pioneers new programs to expand access to vital capital for previously underserved entrepreneurs and small businesses. A scholarship program is established to help minorities and low-income young people, providing funds for their studies. Years later, Unity thrives not just as a highly profitable institution, but as a national symbol of corporate social responsibility. Elijah, reflecting on the tumultuous events, deeply recognizes that the pursuit of justice is a lifelong commitment, not a singular event. He dedicates himself to advocating for equality and fairness, leveraging his platform to inspire other business leaders to prioritize social impact as highly as financial success. Mr. Thompson, after serving his time, fully dedicates himself to correcting the harm he caused. Working alongside Elijah, he leads educational initiatives to raise awareness about the insidious effects of redlining and helps to develop innovative programs allowing low-income individuals to safely invest in new businesses, breaking the cycle of poverty. Sarah, now a leading and powerful voice in the fight for social justice and corporate responsibility, utilizes her experiences to champion whistleblowers, ensuring protection for those who bravely risk their careers and livelihoods to expose injustice and corporate malfeasance. Mrs. May Johnson's bakery, having become a successful national franchise, empowers countless other minority entrepreneurs to achieve their dreams, proving that hard work and access to opportunity can lead to extraordinary success. She creates a non-profit for women, helping them with legal orientation and financial support in their businesses. Elijah and Sarah, working together, travel around the world and the country, sharing their story and their success story to inspire positive change. Their success is a clear message to all the people that everyone deserves a place in the world. As the sun dips below the horizon of Oak Haven, its rays bathing the city's diverse neighborhoods in a warm golden light, Elijah reflects on the enduring power of empathy, individual courage and community solidarity. His tale, a testament to the transformative power of perseverance, acts as a perpetual reminder that the ongoing pursuit of justice demands unwavering vigilance, a readiness to challenge entrenched power structures, and a commitment to amplifying the voices of those who have been historically silenced. The call to action is clear. What steps will you take today to challenge bias and actively uplift your community? This is more than just a story, it is an urgent and compelling call to action. The fight for equality remains unfinished, and it requires the active participation, dedication, and commitment of each and every one of us. What is your legacy? What is your purpose? What you are going to do with the power that is on your hands? The time to act is now.